Hey guys, and welcome to my Harry Potter tag video. As some of you may know if you follow me on Twitter, I've been trying to create a Harry Potter tag in honor of The Cursed Child coming out July 31st. I've come up with 30 different questions and they're going to be in 3 different categories: favorites, general, and personal. So without further ado, let's get started. First question is, list your favorite movies from favorite to least favorite. My least favorite movie is Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. I really didn't like the lighting that they did, and it just really made the movie less enjoyable. My second least favorite is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, mainly because I thought that they cut a lot out of this movie, and I think it would just been better if they had made it into 2 different movies. Then I have The Order of the Phoenix, The Sorcerer's Stone, The Chamber of Secrets, and The Prisoner of Azkaban, which was my favorite until Harry Potter Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2 were released. And I think Part 1 is my favorite because it was so nice to see Harry, Ron, and Hermione doing stuff outside of school. Question number 2 is list the books from favorite to least favorite. Okay, my definite favorite is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. My second favorite is Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Then I think I'd have to go with The Deathly Hallows, then The Goblet of Fire, The Sorcerer's Stone, The Chamber of Secrets, and then The Order of the Phoenix. The reason Order of the Phoenix is my least favorite is because Harry's just really moody and he wasn't really fun to be around in that book, so it just was always my least favorite. I have found, though, that the more I reread the books, the more I love them. So I do like Order of the Phoenix a lot more than I used to. Question number 3 is favorite character besides Harry, Ron, and Hermione. I had to think about this really hard because I love Snape now, but I hated him for so long that I didn't know if he was going to be like my favorite character. I didn't like the way he acted toward Harry and everything, but after we learned the main reason why he was acting that way, you can't not like the guy. So Snape is my favorite character besides the Golden Trio. Question number 4 is least favorite character besides Voldemort, Umbridge, and Bellatrix. This didn't take me very long at all. Lucius Malfoy. This was mainly because he was such a bad father. And he was also very weak. I mean, he was very easily pushed around. The only real power the guy had was being able to throw his money around and influence people with it. So yeah, I don't really like Lucius. Question number 5 is favorite quote. And my quote is a very popular one. You see it everywhere, and that is, happiness can be found in the darkest of times if only one remembers to turn on the lights. And my life has been full of a lot of dark times, and I've had to visualize a happy moment in my life or something that's really positive about my life to sometimes keep me going. And right now, that is BookTube and books. Question number 6 is favorite Harry Potter game. I didn't have to think about this. I haven't played a lot of the Harry Potter games. I've played, I think, 4 or 5. And out of those, my favorite is Lego Harry Potter years 1 through 4. Question number 7 is favorite magical method of travel. I wanted to say port keys for this one because that's such a unique way to travel, but I'm gonna have to stick with the broom. Because ever since I was a little girl, I've always had a fascination with riding on broomsticks. Question number 8 is favorite magical creature. Now, I've always loved wolves and owls, but the werewolves in Harry Potter are like super dangerous and frightening. So I was gonna go with owls, but I don't know if owls are actually considered a magical creature. So I think for this, I'm gonna go with Pigmipuffs because they're adorable. Question number 9 is favorite moment from the books and movies. From the movies, that's easy. I always enjoy watching the scene where Hermione punches Draco in the face. I think for the books, my favorite moment's gonna have to be in The Half-Blood Prince when Harry is trying out all these spells from the Half-Blood Prince's potion book. Question number 10 is favorite thing about the fandom. I think the best thing about this fandom is no matter where you come from, if you like Harry Potter, you'll instantly become friends with someone that lives halfway across the world from you. It's just a very magical connection that everyone that loves Harry Potter shares. Question number 11 is favorite Harry Potter memorabilia. As you guys know, I went to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter like last August, so I have a lot of Harry Potter things that I love, but I love nothing more than this. And that's the picture of me and my sister on the ride of the Forbidden Journey. Now moving on to the personal questions. Question 1 is, what Hogwarts and Ilvermorny house are you in? This can be on Pottermore or any site at all. On Pottermore, the first time I got sorted into Hufflepuff. Then they revamped the site and I redid the quiz, and now I'm a Ravenclaw. And I wish this had happened before I went to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter and bought a lot of Hufflepuff themed stuff. But that just means I'll have to go again and buy a lot of Ravenclaw stuff, right? And for Ilvermorny, I hope I'm saying that name right, I got put into Puckwedgie. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but I'm a Puckwedgie. Sounds so weird. Question number 13 is, what would you take to Hogwarts? A toad, cat, an owl, or a Pigmipuff? Like I said, my favorite animal is an owl, so I would have to go with an owl. And I'd want to keep in contact with my family, and that would be the only method of communications. Question 14 is, would you play Quidditch? If so, what position? I would play Quidditch, I think. I would at least try out. And for position, I think I would have to be a seeker. Not because I want to be like Harry Potter and I want to play like the most important role. No. I couldn't be a chaser or a keeper because I suck at throwing. I couldn't throw the ball back and forth from the other chasers or towards the goal. And if I was a keeper and I caught the ball, I'd have to throw back, and 9 times out of 10, I'd be throwing it back to the opposing team. That also goes for beating. I couldn't be a beater because I have like no upper body strength at all. I'm better off with just being a seeker. Question 15, how old were you when you discovered Harry Potter? The first movie came out is when I first learned about Harry Potter. The movie came out when I was 11. So my birthday is in December, so I just thought, oh, my Hogwarts letter will come next year since my birthday is like in the middle of the year. It didn't happen. It was the most depressing school year of my life, I tell ya. But if we're talking about books, I was like slightly older. I think I was probably 13 or 14 when I actually started reading the books. And it's funny because I read the Half-Blood Prince first. I didn't start at the Sorcerer's Stone. I just skipped to the 6th book. And then I read it, loved it, and I was like, oh, this is the 6th book. I have to go back and read all of them in order. I wasn't a big reader back then, so I really wasn't thinking before I just started reading it. Yeah. And so I guess I was like 13 when I really full on got in Harry Potter. Number 16 is, how much does Harry Potter mean to you? Harry Potter means like a whole lot to me. It's probably taking over like at least 1/4 of my life. Like, you can't turn around in my room without seeing something Harry Potter related. Anytime someone mentions Harry Potter, I go like crazy, sprouting out all these facts and asking questions, and it's kind of embarrassing, but I love Harry Potter and I do not want to imagine what my life would be like without it. Especially considering that whenever something bad happens in my life, I tend to pick up the Harry Potter series to read, and it always puts me in a much better mood. So Harry Potter has gotten me through the most difficult times in my life. So Harry Potter is also a good example of my favorite quote, happiness can be found in the darkest of times. Question number 17, what is your most unforgettable Harry Potter experience? I think my most unforgettable Harry Potter experience would be when I got to go to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. It was just amazing, and I really wish I could live there. I think I go back and watch my vlog videos from that trip at least once a month. I really can't wait to go back. Question number 18 is, how many copies of each book do you own? Okay, I own 5 copies of the first book. I own 5 copies of the second book, but that'll be 6 soon because I'm going to get the illustrated edition when it comes out this October. So I've also say I have 6 copies of the second book. I have 3 copies of the third book, and then books 4 through 7, I just have 2 copies of each book. Why I have so many copies of the first 2 books, I don't know, but I'm okay with it. Question 19 is, do you reread? If so, when do you normally reread, and how many times have you reread the books? I do reread, and I tend to reread either during the summertime when I have a lot of time and I can binge read all 7, or during winter time because for some reason I'm in a very Harry Potter mood during the winter. And if I have to guess, I think I've reread the first 3 books at least a dozen times. Books 4 and 5 I've probably reread about 6 times, and then books 6 and 7 probably about 3 or 4 times a piece. When I get to the 4th Harry Potter book, I normally get in the mood to read something else, so I don't normally pick the series back up. I've actually stopped halfway through reading The Order of the Phoenix one time. Question number 20 is, what part of the books or movies made you cry the most? This was easy. Fred's death. When I first read book 7 and Fred died, I had to just stop reading and breathe, or I was gonna have a panic attack. Then when it happened in the movie, I was crying so much that I tried to continue watching the movie through my tears, but I eventually had to just pause the movie and take a break, get it all out before I could start watching it again. Question number 21 is, what character do you relate to the most? I think the character I relate to the most is Hermione, and this is mainly because I think if I went to Hogwarts, I would be the same way she is, wanting to read every book and learn as much as I could about the school before I even got there. And I wouldn't necessarily want to be ahead in every class, but I would at least want to understand exactly what's going on, so I'd probably read my textbook very thoroughly and practice outside class, and I would get my homework done like in the first couple days. That way I would have the rest of the week to just read. So yeah, I definitely relate to Hermione more than any other character. Time for the general questions. Question number 22 is, how do you feel about Harry Potter fanfiction? I know there's a lot of people who don't like to read fan fiction about books because truthfully a lot of the fan fiction that's based off books, they like butcher them so much that it's not even funny, but there are a few good ones out there. I don't really mind Harry Potter fan fiction, but I don't like reading the stories that bash characters like Ginny or Molly or any of the good characters that I love, but I do enjoy reading the ones where they continue into their 8th year. I just would love to see what their 8th year was like. So reading Harry Potter fan fiction kind of helps me cope with the fact that there's never going to be a book with their 8th year in it. Question number 23 is, pick one thing from the book that you wish had made it to the movie. For this, I'm going to go with a scene from book 5, and it's going to be when Fred and George leave Peeves to take care of Umbridge after they leave. Everything that Peeves puts her through and everything Fred and George done before they left, I loved all that so much, and I really wanted to see that in the movie. I mean, not that it was necessary for the storyline, but it was just hilarious, and Umbridge deserved everything she got. Question number 24, if you could remake any of the movies, which would it be and why? I think it would be The Half-Blood Prince. One, because I want it to be shot less dingy and more colorful like The Order of the Phoenix was. And there was a couple of small things from the book that I think they should have put in there because of references they made in the 7th and 8th movies. Question number 25, if you could bring one character back to life, who would it be? There's two characters I want to bring back to life, and that's Fred and Dobby. But I think between the two, I'm still going to have to choose Fred. I mean, I feel bad. I mean, I really want Dobby to come back to life. But the Weasleys have just been through so much, and I can't stand the thought of any of them dying. Question number 26. If you could perform a spell, which would it be and why? For this, I mean a spell that you would be able to perform for the rest of your life, which makes it really hard because there are so many great spells out there, and it's hard to pick just one. I mean, you have Accio that, you know, for someone who's really lazy like me, can just summon the thing to it. But, oh, I know what I want. If I could perform any spell for the rest of my life, it's that one they find in the Half-Blood Prince's potion book, Mufflio. Whichever one that makes, like, it blocks out sound so no one can hear you. I would so choose that one. I would put that around my aunt all the time so I don't have to hear her yelling. You probably hear her in the background right now. Question number 27. Invisibility Cloak, Resurrection Stone, or Elder Wand? Simple invisibility cloak. I would love to be invisible. That way I wouldn't have to go to family functions. I could just, you know, get out of them. It's like, oh, I'm not here. I'm such an introvert. Question number 28. If Harry Potter could be turned into something else, what would you like to see? By this, I mean like TV show, cartoon, graphic novel, etc. Stuff like that. For me, I would have to choose graphic novel because I would love to see the whole Harry Potter story in picture. I mean, the illustrated editions are nice, but I just want to be able to sit down and read Harry Potter in one sitting. It would be so nice. Question number 29. Were you happy with the ending? I personally was very happy with the ending, even though I felt that there were some unanswered questions. But I really enjoyed seeing Harry, Ron, and Hermione coming back to put their own kids on the Hogwarts Express and to see them all grown up and happy. And the last question, question 30. What unanswered questions did you have about the Harry Potter series that you hope are answered in The Cursed Child? I have a few unanswered questions. The first one would be, did Harry, Ron, and Hermione go back for their final year of Hogwarts? And then I'd want to know what they grew up to do after Hogwarts. Even though we all pretty much know what they've done if you've been getting on like social media. It's pretty much everywhere what they grew up to be. But I would like to actually see it in book form and hear about it from J.K. Rowling. And I'd like to know what happened right after the war, like the process of fixing the castle and getting their lives together and catching the last of the Death Eaters. So I'm hoping all that gets answered in The Cursed Child. Most likely won't, but I can keep my fingers crossed. Well, that is my tag video. I'm going to tag a couple of people. I'm going to tag Monica Fangirl, Catilin is a Kitty Cat, Padford and Prong 07, WiseHufflepuff, and I tag anyone else who's watching this video. If you guys do decide to do this tag, please let me know in the comments below so I can go watch the video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!